He's been alive for he's a walking forest. Smokey Bear told us, he warned us about this stuff, you know?
How's it going, everybody? Tony here from Kapowcast and bringing you the Kapowcast Masters of the Universe Revelations review. Joining me is John motherfucking Brewski. What is up, dude?
Oh, I have the power, as you can see, thanks to Dollar Tree.
Yeah, Target failed me. I was going to go pick me up something, but nope. I guess those scalpers watched the show and they were like, I'm going to grab every single solitary one of these.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened.
Even all the, what was the one that you got from Target the other day?
Battle Cat or?
No. From Revelations. Was that,
I got Skelligod and I got the Battle
Skelligod.
Cat.
Yeah. You got Skelligod. That was the one I kept seeing everywhere. And I was like, oh, I'll grab that, you know. It's a good looking figure. I think they're fantastic looking figures. So it's just one of those things, you know, don't break the seal. But yeah, we'll be talking about Masters of the Universe Revelations. And don't worry, this show will not include me rattling off a bunch of other negative reviews like so many other channels have been doing. This is our thoughts on the product in which Kevin Smith gave us. And also, I don't think you'll be hearing any soreness from our side of things. Maybe a little bit on John, but
yeah, you know, I mean, I think with anything you have to have fair criticism, fair judgment, right?
Exactly.
I think that's the one thing that I like about Kapowcast too is we all have our different opinions, and our rating system is absolutely hilarious. Go back, listen to any of the other episodes that have been reviewed by you, Jeff, and Mike. I think it's been fairly well. You know, I mean, sure, yeah, we probably have some bias, right? But that's with anything that we enjoy and that we love. But you know, I think
there's definitely some topics that like certain ones of us, depending on what it is, have blinders on, like. You know, like Mike stresses all the time about how he, for the longest time, was in denial about the Green Lantern movie and how it was good. And I think everybody else is in agreement that the Warner Brothers Green Lantern movie starring Ryan Reynolds was not good.
Yeah. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, if that's what you enjoy, I mean, great, man. More power to you. But like in the same vein,
Jeff Johns himself said it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that out there right now. The savior of the Green Lanterns said, no comment. I said, oh, that means you don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that there's some movies that I hold near and dear to my heart that definitely haven't won any Academy Awards.
Right.
So
oh, yeah. There's a bunch of movies. I love Batman and Robin.
Oh, me too, man. Yeah.
But everybody declares that as the worst Batman, and I agree and I disagree at the same time. It's just about your outlook in life, really.
I think so.
To set up some standards here with this review, I will personally come out and say that Masters of the Universe, He-Man, all that stuff, for me when I was younger, was more of a comedic angle. At a young age, I realized that, you know, this show was based solely to sell toys. So I never got into it super seriously. I never was just like, oh yeah, Masters of the Universe, woo, He-Man. Because I like I told you earlier, like it's literally a muscular man, but inside he's just a little boy, and that says a lot about fan base. Yeah. You know, I think one of those things too for us, and I know, you know, like Jeff's a little bit older than both of us, but not by much, and I'm a little bit older than you. Yeah. So I know, like at that time, you basically were catching reruns if stuff was coming on, right? Yep.
Like, so it's like, especially the 80s, I think that's one thing that a lot of people kind of forget about is, yeah, sure, there was the rerun side of thing, but man, they were releasing cartoon after cartoon after cartoon. So like why would you want to watch old, Masters of the Universe when G.I. Joe's on now, or this new hot thing called Ninja Turtles, right? Like at the tail end of the 80s, early 90s. It just makes sense why like that stuff doesn't catch on. So like, I mean, for me, I remember He-Man and I remember She-Ra as a small child. And I think the only reason why I remember those so vividly is because I had older brothers. And so they were into it. And like, those are some of my earliest memories, So I remember that. And, G.I. Joe was kind of more like my thing. And then I absolutely loved Turtles. By then, my brothers were way too older, but like Turtles, just getting into it, right? So definitely 80s child. Definitely Barbarian, that stuff. I love Conan. I loved Conan as a kid. The censored version that you saw on TV. So, and then the second one too, the PG version as well. But yeah, it definitely, I don't know what it is. Barbarians and scantily clad muscle men. I'm into pro wrestling. I'm seeing my therapist about this. I'm working these things out. So, all jokes aside, though, I think that's one of those funny things. There was a lot of scantily clad, muscly men in the 80s and 90s. And
if you look at it, though, like in the 80s, that was in the point in time that wrestling started to like really come to the forefront.
Absolutely.
So I think it really probably goes hand in hand.
Yeah, larger than life characters, when you basically see these guys that look like He-Man and Conan and all that, like these are superheroes come to life.
Yep.
So much so, I mean, there's Hulk Hogan and the Incredible Hulk and the funny little history around that too with Marvel and WWF and all the other wrestling with Hulk in his name. But it's definitely... This revelation was, I think we all were excited about it. I think I'll get one of the negative things out of the way right away, because for the most part, I'm positive about this. I really enjoyed it. I really liked everything. I think the one thing that I can agree upon with a lot of the fanboys that get really upset was the trailer. The trailer absolutely sold you nostalgia. And I was telling you guys, I was telling some other friends, it really reminded me of when Anchorman came out, where when the trailer came out for Anchorman, a majority of that trailer was deleted scenes. And so people would be like, wait a minute, I don't remember that being in the movie, because it wasn't. There was actually a time period, if you recall, when Anchorman was released on DVD at the time, they actually had an extended like DVD with it that was basically a whole other movie on its own. And it was absolutely insane. They filmed that much that they had 2 movies for this.
I remember the 2 just set.
I know originally, I don't know if they still call it now for political correctness, but what you used to call that stuff was trailer trash. The stuff that you didn't see that was in the trailer, but it never made it to the movie. Because it got trashed, it got taken out of the movie. Cut. So that was the fun little nickname that they gave it. But I felt like this was definitely a swerve, really big. We saw this stuff that was in the trailer for the TV show, yet it was made in such a way that it did not tell you that story. It was, and I really think you would have took about half those guys that are pissed off. If you would have been truthful and honest in the trailer, yes, you are still going to get those guys that were upset and about woke culture or whatever, they want to put blame on or anything like that.
Right.
You're still going to get those guys, but I think that would have been a smaller percent. I think a lot of people were pretty pissed that they felt misled. That, Kevin Smith's like, oh, nostalgia. Yeah, this is going to be great. I'm Kevin Smith. And like, you love me.
You're doing his hand thing too.
Yeah. So, it was just, it is what it is. And then like the stuff came out and then he was backpedaling on things and he was pulling a Kevin Smith when something doesn't go his way. And, I don't know. Anytime that he gets negative publicity, there's a certain route Kevin Smith goes with it, and he totally did it this time around. And he started putting blame on Netflix, and then he was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, like they liked it, and that's all that matters, and it just was kind of funny that like you couldn't just say you couldn't come out and be like, yeah, you're absolutely right. We mishandled the trailer. We shouldn't have handled it that way. But just wait. Which makes me curious about what the next part is, because I was really excited for the next part.
Yes.
But like no one's saying just wait for the next part. So who knows? I know. Obviously this is going to be full of spoilers, right? So
spoiler warning.
But like even them, they released a commentary companion after the show.
Oh, I didn't get to watch that actually. Because when I watched it, the commentary companion was not there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same.
The first time, and then I just never got the chance to actually sit down and watch that. Even though I watched this 3 times, I said earlier 3 times. But yeah, I never actually got to sit down and watch that part, which that's my cup of tea. I love that shit.
Yeah, me too. Right? Like I enjoyed that. This one was kind of more like, it felt more of an infomercial than it did some of the other stuff. Like when the Stranger Things did the commentary, that was fun. That was nice. Those things are fun. Like the Talking Dead and all that.
I think it depends on the host with those things.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this was definitely an infomercial that was trying to really push it. So I'll say that the one of the positive sides to that little commentary was I really apologize because his name is it Bob Oppenhauer, the original Skeletor.
Once again,
I'm really sorry. I'm probably. Just having a mental pause there, but he was on it, and it was really nice to have him talk with the cast. And he had even mentioned too something that I never knew about, but like he said, he was really happy to be back with it, and he felt honored to be a part of it. And talked about his doing Skeletor, but then also mentioning how. A father in his 30s came up to him one time with his 7 and 8 year old, and like he was talking and he got choked up and he was like, I'm sorry, this just really resonates with me. Like these kids wanted to kill themselves and He-Man was the one like savior for them, and like,
whoa.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like 7 and 8 year olds where life's that bad for them, but they could always look forward to Masters of the Universe. And he was like, that was just a paycheck to me. But like seeing that, like that put a new perspective in my eyes, and he never really thought like the PSAs at the end meant anything. It was just like, oh hey, it's just a job. But yet like those PSAs were really helpful to kids, and so
you were close. Alan Oppenheimer.
Alan, thank you. So
also the voice of Falcor.
Yes, Kevin Smith was so excited to be like, we killed off He-Man twice, like doing his hand thing and stuff. And like, he was so excited about that. And I was just like, you knew what you were doing. And if in the trailer you made this more along the lines of, hey, Eternia is not all fun and games, like shit happens. Like, I think you would have got a lot of fans being like, no shit, what?
Right.
Like, I got to tune in for this. I got to see what's happening. And, of course, like, I think a lot of things, too, that people kind of forget is, Tila in the original series also played quite a big role as well. So,
yes.
I know everyone was like, oh, this is just the Tila story. I would have just watched She-Ra, which She-Ra's also been pretty fun, by the way. I've been watching that a little bit.
Really?
But yeah. It's different animation style and stuff like that. Which I'm surprised, that didn't get shit on because like, with Teen Titan Goes or Thundercat Roar.
Yeah.
The moment that you change up the style and the gimmick of it, people get all in an outrage. So.
And as drastically as that too, like.
Yeah, I really, I know some people were like, oh man, why do you have to shove this stuff in my face? And, I didn't see any of that when I was watching it. I did not. I will say when I first watched it, and usually I don't really try to seek out spoilers or anything like that. The trailer is mostly the thing that I'll be most spoilery about.
Right.
So like watching it, I was like, oh man, that's kind of weird, but like I like where this is going. This is very interesting. To me, it read like a comic book, and that like, hey, we're gonna start off the first arc of this comic book like this, and you think that you're gonna get this, but actually, we're gonna tell the story over a period. And I mean, that's not a surprise. This is Kevin Smith. This is, for those that don't know, which I mean, if you're watching, how do you not know? Kevin Smith writes comics as well, and so. It really, to me, this all fit in. And he only wrote the first episode, I believe. The rest he just executive produced, and it was written by other people.
See, I was trying to catch that, but Netflix, it does that thing where it like cuts off the beginning.
Man.
When you're binging, it cuts the beginning off. So then I was just like, wait, whoa.
Yeah, you really had to pay attention because I was like, did he write the whole series? And so that was one of those things that I looked for. He only wrote the first episode. I'm pretty positive. I don't think he wrote any of the other episodes. But the first one, and it starts from there. And then, I thought that was just kind of cool. I mean, I can understand some people's gripes with some of the things in it, but then again, like I went out of my way and I bought season 1 and season 2 streaming on Amazon. And this is no endorsement of Amazon. It was just Amazon had them. And so I bought them and I was rewatching them. And that's one of those things too. Any type of thing that you watch with your adult eyes or you read with your, as an adult, that's one of those things that I love revisiting, whether it's physical media, like movie media or book. Hey, I read this as a kid. I now want to read this as this age. I want to read it again in 10 years. Right. It's always going to be different, always going to be something different about it. And that's just the thing. You realize as a kid, you don't think about the animation style or anything like that, or that they were cutting corners and saving on so much money. I just recently saw that Orko was originally supposed to be like Glappo or something like that, but they didn't want to put the G on his chest because they couldn't mirror some of the cells. So they just went with the O. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, but it makes sense. I was just watching a YouTube video, I want to say, or maybe a documentary. I forgive me, I watched way too much. That someone was saying too. I think it was Hanna-Barbera that was the ones that really started it. You're like, hey, you want to know why like Fred Flintstone wears a collar, or Yogi Bear wears a collar, or Scooby-Doo has a collar? Like some of these anthropomorphic animals wear collars. Was that they could keep the body the same, but they just changed the head. I was like, smart. That's really smart. And they said that they cut down on so much on drawing that they saved a lot of money, especially when prices were increasing. So like another thing too, not to get into the political side of it, I don't know too much about it. I have to say I'm ignorant, but I noticed also too that like currently right now a lot of animations coming out of South Korea, and there's some questionable work ethic there in regard to is it like, are people really wanting to work, or are they kind of being forced to work so many? So I noticed that a lot of the team appeared to be, once again, sorry, it could be ignorance, from South Korea too, but the animation was absolutely phenomenal. But like that's knowing that, and knowing like the Disney stuff, and hearing about like Pixar and how some of these people are just like worked to the death.
Yep.
I don't know, as an adult, like that's the one thing I'm like, for my personal enjoyment, I'm just feeling for the people that worked so hard on this, because I know that they probably were just crunched on time, no matter what, wherever it was, whether it was drawn here in the US or South Korea or whatever. My heart just was going out to them, because like I'm like, I know, number one, just to do this stuff is so difficult, but number two, like the deadlines, and I'm sure like you're not only putting out Masters of the Universe, but all this other stuff too. Mm-hmm. And it's like, damn, man. But the animation to me was awesome. I was like, oh dude, this was, man, it really, it was 2021, but that was the nostalgia thing for me. It felt like I was watching like some like heavy metal stuff, or even Masters of the Universe, but like with better animation.
Right.
The beginning, when they had the old art styles playing in the credits.
You talk about in episode 1 when they were doing the intro. Yeah.
Oh man, that was awesome.
I thoroughly enjoy. I would actually get a couple of those as prints.
Yeah, man,
and hang them up.
Absolutely. I
don't know who did those, but Jesus, Murphy, man, like those look really good. But I get what you're saying, where like this animation style, it's new, but it still feels reminiscent of the old stuff as well.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's kind of what really I like sold me on it. Like when you were like, "Hey, let's do a review of it," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't really have any intention of watching it, but all right, it looks decently animated." And I think it's this. I don't know for sure. I'd have to look. I think it's the same studio that has done like the DC animated stuff as well.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I know that a lot of Asia Pacific area, they're getting a lot of work for US releases on things. So it definitely, and that's what I said. I had to look a little bit more into it, but my heart was feeling, you read a headline or you read like an article and stuff and you hear about like working conditions for some people and you're like, oh my gosh, but then again, you watch like Netflix did a great documentary about some of like the anime that's being produced for Netflix and like these studios just talking about it and they look like they're passionate about it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might just be like making a character out of nothing. Right. But like, I just, I artists in these cases, especially with animation, always get forgotten. Like the animators themselves, it's always the voice actors are like, oh, hey, it's Kevin Smith. And oh, hey, we have all these big heads that are playing, and it's like really the talent that goes behind it too is the animation team. And so like, I just want to give them recognition, because I'm sure they work their ass off. Mm-hmm. And just for my personal enjoyment, Exactly. So definitely love that.
That's the shittiest thing about watching animated stuff and enjoying animation is you're right. The deadlines, the grueling work, the actual process itself is painstaking to the point where if you educate yourself as to how it goes down and these guys working like around the clock for 48 hours and taking naps on sofas and drinking coffee by the gallon and all that other stuff. Like it's depressing when you learn all that. So it's this weird kind of like, I don't know, like you almost have to balance like ignorance with like knowledge.
Yeah, right.
Or you're just going to just ruin everything you love.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you really want to see where all these shoes are made, guys?
Exactly.
Stuff like that, whatever. Yeah. Do you really want to see the factory conditions to make me a little Orco that I buy for $1 at Dollar Tree? No, it's really, I don't, I try not to get too involved in it, but my heart goes out to them because, like I said, you can be passionate. Look at all the work that we do or that we've done in the past too that we haven't made hardly any money for. But the passion was there, and those are long hours and stuff. So, I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill if that's the case either, but like, I just want to give them credit where credit's due because that's something, everyone who's, and it was a great cast of voice actors, like it was, everything about it was great. I didn't find any of these undertones that people were finding with Tila. I didn't see it as that.
The female empowerment thing, or what are you talking about?
Not so much the women empowerment. I don't even think that was like crazy, to be completely honest with you.
No,
like I said, like if you watch 80s He-Man, Tila's in there. And so I didn't see anything at all. No woke culture or whatever bullshit people want to say.
It's just I think it's
see, some people were claiming like oh, this is the LGBTQ community and trying to push that agenda. I didn't see any of that. I don't know where people were getting that at. I thought that was a little silly. That like, number one, you would even go there. Number two, why the hell, even if it was there, like, why can't they be represented? Like, here's something that we're trying to include everyone in on. Mm-hmm. Geez, man, it's not everything's a political issue. Yeah. Like, it's just, we're trying to enjoy it. And you guys, you're the ones that are making it.
Right.
You know, so like I didn't really see any of those overtones or undertones or any of that stuff that like a lot of people saw. What I saw was just a badass character that got fed up with people lying.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's trying to find herself.
Yes.
I think that's the hero's journey, right?
Exactly.
That's the story.
That's it.
She's trying to find herself. You guys are the ones that are really making a mountain out of a molehill. So, you know. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Finish it up.
No, I was just going to say, you know, like, sure, I would have loved to see more He-Man in the first 5 episodes, but you know what? I'm fine. You know, I loved it for what it was. I thought, oh, okay. At first, you know, when I was watching it, and Tony, let me tell you this. I was so psyched for this. I watched this at regular speed.
You didn't do speed?
I did not. I did not
goodness.
double my speed on it. I watched these at their 24-minute long episodes, man.
Wow.
I can't tell you. I don't know what's happening with me. I couldn't. I'm like blown away. I've watched just recently Bill and Ted Face the Music without watching that at double speed, and I watched Nick Cage's the Wiley's Wonderland or whatever it's called, Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Man, I watched that every. Oh, wow, I love that.
Oh, John,
too,
dude, you're learning how to slow down and enjoy things.
I'm trying not to. No. I got to keep up. So.
Okay, so that first you completely destroyed my train of thought with that statement, because like
I'm sorry.
If you've been listening to us for any time now, you should have picked up on the factor that John doesn't like to pace himself. He likes to get it all out of the way really fast. So he's even told me, like, yeah, I listened to the show the other day, and I go, I still don't understand how you listen to our show at double speed, because I think at that time, like, I even sped the track up a little bit. So like you were listening at like 4 times the speed of the original recording. But anyways, personally, like with the Tila angle and all that other stuff, I was 120% behind it. Why? Mm-hmm. Because like we had what, like, I don't even know how many years of He-Man centric storyline. So are we going to go back and repeat all the He-Man centric storyline with this new shit, or try something different? So like I was all about it. I applauded whoever made the decision, you know, whether it be Kevin Smith or the producers, of killing off the 2 beloved characters right there at the beginning, both He-Man and Skeletor. Like, I was just like, wow, that's bold, Cotton. Let's see if this plays out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I total agreement with you, because that was exactly it. Like, I know sometimes you get those moments where you're just like, oh man, did they really do that just for like the shock factor? But it really made me go, what would an Eternia be like without those 2? Yeah. You know, like, how would this transform? How would it fold out? Like, what would happen here? Like, your champion's gone.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, your protector's like done.
Yeah.
But, and then to have someone like Tila, who was known to stand by and, you know, basically be a good soldier, to get fed up with like all the secrets and all this other stuff. And like, I don't know, I feel like nowadays, like, the story for me cannot just be this basic A to B scenario. Like, I want depth in my stories. If you're going to take like several hours of my time, give me a reason to invest in it. Yeah, right. And that's probably just the old man in me getting out. Like, you know, stop wasting my time and get to the point already. You know, that's why, like, Infinity War, Endgame, stuff like that. For me, I have no issue sitting down in 2.5 hours watching these movies, because it has a really, really solid story. Yeah. Even with its flaws and stuff of that nature. But back to He-Man. I was 100%, like, I didn't even doubt it. Like, they ixnayed He-Man, ixnayed Skeletor, and I was like, whoa, dude, all right, That just
Skeletor
sold me.
lights Mossman up.
He does.
And I'm just like, I was like, are you shitting me? When I saw it, like,
strikes that match and whoosh.
Oh, dude. I mean, here's this dude who's like been alive for 1,000,000 years, and Skeletor, which I know that's what kind of bugged people. He's been alive for he's a walking forest. Smokey Bear told us, he warned us about this stuff, Of course. What do you use against the forest?
That's really the only thing that bothered me, was how Skeletor came in and fucking ixnayed everything. Like, okay, you're telling me that for years past, Skeletor's been pulling his punches because he's like some sort of Joker-oriented character where he can't exist if He-Man doesn't exist. Like, no, that's not Skeletor. Skeletor was about conquering and like taking over, which... That ending, though, like, I'm not going to get to it yet, but that ending, I was like...
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's the long con. Like, it finally... Skeletor always had a plan, and his plans were always foiled, right? Like, it was just... a lot of them were terrible plans, obviously. But,
yes, of course.
Even Wile E. Coyote caught the Roadrunner once, you know? So, Skeletor's got to have one thing going for him, right? Like,
his day would come.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about voice acting a little bit. I really didn't have any problems with voice acting. I thought I was going to have a problem with Jason Mewes, but honestly, when he came into the deal, I didn't even realize it was Jason Mewes.
Yeah, right. He did a really great job.
I honestly think the one that stuck out like the sorest was Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, I was like,
oh no.
Yeah.
All I hear is Batman.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that too, because immediately for me, it was Mark Hamill and Conroy. Yep. It was like Kevin Conroy. Hearing them, no matter how well that they can do these other voices, I still just hear some of their main characters, right?
Yes.
Like, so even though I enjoyed the Skeletor voice, all I could think about basically was like Joker, and some of the other stuff that he's done, even skips from regular show. Like, I was like hearing some of it, I'm like, what? Yeah. So yeah, it definitely was crazy hearing those, but fun. I'm trying to think who Triclops. Why is his name escaping me? Black Flag.
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins. Yes. Wow.
Yeah,
dude.
Bro. I was like, wait, I think I was in, I don't know, it was close to the end, maybe the 4th episode. I was like, wait, I thought Henry Rollins did a voice in this.
Yeah, me too,
and I had to look up who he was, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I went back, watched it. I was like, okay, I can kind of hear it, but he's phenomenal. Like, I would have never picked up that was Henry Rollins if I didn't know.
His voice acting was great, and I loved Triclops' crazy ass character. Like, magic is dead. It was the weirdest. Like, it was such a weird, like, over the top atheist, almost with religion.
Right. It reminded me.
And technology is the way. All hail the mother. Like, I can't even do some of those lines were so great. Like, he was like, we live in diode. Yes. Take the cup from the motherboard. Oh, dude. It was awesome.
It was very, like, it reminded me so much of Mad Max, like the way he was talking and everything. I was like, this is totally Mad Max, and I'm loving the shit out of this.
Oh, dude.
Who was it? I was iffy. He's kind of a hit or miss voice actor for me, but when Scareglow, voiced by Tony Todd, came in, I was like, no one could have been better for this. Like, especially with like Scareglow's presence and like that whole scenario where he's showing Tila and feeding off her fear and everything. Yeah, I was like, this is amazing. Like, I didn't think he would be able to have done better, because he did what was that character in the Flash CW show? The Black Flash. Like, he was all black. I can't remember what they called him. I'm blanking right now, but him doing that voice was phenomenal. And I was like, I don't know if he can top that. And then, like, Scareglow came on, and I was just like, dude, this is really awesome.
I loved that. I kind of liked that. Well, I it wasn't kind of. I did. I like the reimagining of Scareglow.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, that was a character that like a lot of people always wanted to see. You know, only saw it in the comics, and it was different. And so like this time, it was just like it makes sense. Scareglow's down there basically in their hell. And he wants to feed off her fear. Oh man, that was awesome.
All right, since we're in the area, Orko, when he goes up against Scareglow to stop him, so everybody can get away.
You know, like
I didn't see it coming.
No, dude. I tell you, I wasn't expecting so much death in this, man. Like
it was a lot.
Dude, so much like. The fighting and you know, even I expected Jason Mewes to have more. He basically only had that one line as Stinkor, and that was it. You know, and
single line.
Even I think Kevin Smith's daughter. I think she was the one that voiced the one of the Fraternia, like the female that didn't speak any English or Common. I think that was her. I could be wrong, but I think that was her.
Well, she was only credited with one episode when I looked it up.
Yeah,
and the name did not ring a bell that she was credited under. But yeah, so okay. Disclaimer: Orko is probably one of like the only characters I would ever like not even think about or hesitate about buying a figure. Character design won me over as a kid, and then I enjoyed him through the old show. So when we catch up with Orko in this one, his magic is depleted. He's weak. He fumbles around even more than he did before. And then he stands up to Scareglow, so all the rest of them can ixnay back and basically complete the mission. And I was like, "You're not gonna do this." No, you're not. Are you? And then, sure as shit, like,
yeah, man.
Orko died, and I was like, I got sad. I was like, the one character I like ultimately like in this whole series, and you fucking killed him,
dude. Yeah, it was. That was crazy. The sacrifice of it, and. You know, like that was a character. I know that he could be kind of divisive with fans. Like some fans loved him, some fans hated him. You know, And so I think that kind of like brought it around. It was just like, hey, all you guys that hated him, don't you feel like an ass now? Like, he did. He was the ultimate sacrifice. Sacrificed his life for his friends. He was like the last of his kind.
Yeah,
and
he was the last of his kind.
Yeah, you're right. And he does that, he does that to save his friends because of his love for his friends. And like, I mean, it's just, that's crazy to see that, that they put that in,
it completely destroyed my brain. Like I paused after that episode. I was like, I can't believe this.
Yeah,
I can't believe he's gone.
Another thing too, I really liked Lena Headey, who did Evelyn.
Oh yes. You mean Mama?
I thought she did a really great job. I like the idea of them teaming up because they saw something. There was something more than just good and evil.
Yes.
They realized that even with that old saying, like, you have to have good with evil and evil with good, right?
The yin and yang, baby.
There was more. They recognized that there was something above them, that they wouldn't have each other. Like, everything would be wiped out. So we got to work together. And like her working along with them, and you start to see like there's some hope for her. And then like even hearing her, she was like, I should have been a master of the universe on my own. Like why the hell did I follow this guy?
Yep.
And then all of that suddenly changes at the end.
I know.
Like she's just like, fuck it, you're right. Let's go.
I was a little blown away by it, like because like you said, like she has this whole revelation of like, I'm much more powerful than I know.
Yeah, right.
That I give myself credit for. Like I could have done what
I could have easily done more than what he could. Yeah.
Yes. And then to have the reappearance of Skeletor. We'll just cut the shit. We'll get right to it. The reappearance of Skeletor, and then her, bow down again and join forces, and even what was it, Beastman?
Yeah,
even Beastman was like reluctant, like to join.
Yeah,
but like because she did, obviously, I think that's why he did.
Yep, absolutely, because that was like you can tell he loves Evelyn, and
yes,
he wants to protect her at all costs, and he absolutely hates Skeletor because Skeletor has abused him.
Yep.
And they go through all that, and it's just like, oh man, you just watched them. Everyone in their own abusive relationship, right? Like going back to the way things were to be more comfortable with what it was. That was crazy. Getting to see Grayskull, getting to see Hero and all the others, with Sweet Wondar and all that. I thought that was awesome. I loved that Adam chose his lesser form. They called him Flea Man. Oh. I absolutely loved that. I thought that was great. Him knowing that basically how crazy that like this was kind of similar to certain religions that are here where only certain people get into heaven while the rest just die.
Yep.
And like Adam recognizes this. They're like, hey dude, if you go back, there's no coming back here. Like you're just gone. And he's like, all right, fine, that's cool. I don't care. Valhalla's cool and all, but you know what? Being with my friends and doing the right thing's better. So, and then all of a sudden he's there, he's getting ready, and then boom, right into the back.
The second time blew me away. I was like, twice?
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit, twice you're gonna kill?
Yeah, he caught me. Yeah, I got caught off guard on that one. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, I was totally caught off guard because obviously, like he's going through the sequence, he's about to hit the notes, and just gets impaled from behind, and I'm just like, no, it's gonna be one of those stupid fake outs where like he's dying, but he lets out the last syllable of like power, and then he transforms and he's saved again. Nah.
No, man, no.
It never happened. It never happened. I was just like, holy shit. Like, are we really, really ixnaying it? Like, because
dude.
that was the point. That was the point where I was like, well, I would have liked to see at least a little bit more He-Man instead of just a bunch of flashbacks.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Which, and I mean, honestly, do you think he's dead? I don't think he's dead.
I think it would be a really bad move in a lot of the senses to just completely kill him off. What I was going to say is I really only have one quarrel with the show, and it was the flashbacks at the beginning of the episodes. Because I feel like it was just held up a big giant sign of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. I was just like, I get it, I guess. I don't actually know. You know what? I don't get it. I don't understand why they chose to do it like that. But it was one of those things that like it's playing out, and I'm just like, this is literally like just a giant billboard saying, hey, this is going to come back. This is important. Pay attention.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And Kevin Smith, he's been guilty of that in his comics a lot. Like I know
right. Yeah.
He did that a lot with his run in the Green Arrow, which still hands down I think was probably one of the best runs of the Green Arrow out there. But like he would do that a lot, would just like flash back and then be like, okay, well obviously this is going to come back around because like, why did you open with this?
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, that was just, it's kind of a bummer. I like my foreshadowing sprinkled on there.
Don't throw it in my face.
Like, don't throw a bunch of that Larry sauce on there and expect me to not know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing, I think I'll finish off part 5, right? Or episode 5, and then get into kind of like our own foreshadowing of what's to come. But like, so He-Man looks like he's dead again. Skeletor grabs the sword, says, I had the power, and then he becomes Skelegod. And that scene, man, holy dude, shit! Like
that final few cells of that animation, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, right.
Because it's everybody in a sixth sense always wants like that villain to like rule the day to
it's
win.
The what if, right?
Yeah.
Like you've always wondered it. What would happen if Skeletor finally got the sword?
Exactly. So like that feeds my nerd nerve really hard when the villain comes and conquers for the win, especially in a season finale. Or how are they releasing this?
2 parts right now. So like we just got part 1 and then we get part 2, the second 5 episodes. It's kind of like Thanos, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Snaps his fingers and then everyone's like, "Holy shit, devastation!" And you're like, what just happened?
I still have flashbacks of those moments.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was very parallel to this. I was like, "Holy shit!" Skelegod is born. What's gonna happen now?
Yeah. No, but I'm jazzed. Like, what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah, I could be absolutely wrong, but I really feel like it's too obvious, and maybe this is why I'll be wrong about it. That like Teela's going to be the next champion.
She's going to become the next He-Man.
Yeah. She's going to be in line to be the next. And I feel like that's going to be at the end of the episode. Maybe episode 10 or whatnot, or maybe they don't, because they are also throughout. And this is where I could be absolutely wrong, because they played it up throughout the whole first part. Like, don't tell her about her past.
Yeah.
Don't let her know. And it's obvious like what it is, because if that's the case, then she takes over and she fulfills the role of the sorceress.
Yep.
So maybe that's it and He-Man stays champion. I don't know. But or maybe her partner her mercenary partner becomes champion. Who knows? I don't know.
I could see her mercenary homie becoming like a man in arms.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I could see that. Replacing.
Like I would assume that. You're right. I think Teela is going to be the new champion. And what I'm more curious about, my question for part 2 is, when she finally becomes champion, is she going to get jacked like Adam did, or is she gonna just stay normal? Because I think she should get jacked up,
absolutely, man.
Just like Wonder Woman times 1,000.
Yeah, right. You get a little bit of that.
She's already bigger than Wonder Woman, so
yeah. No, she'll probably stay the same, right? Like she probably will. I mean, she was jacked to begin with, but I don't know. I think that might be one of those things. Adam gets saved, and he recognizes that he has to be the king of Eternia now, and so he can't play He-Man if he's the king. I don't know. I don't know what way they're gonna go with it. That's the interesting thing about it. So I could see some people being upset about that, and maybe that's why people are upset now, because they feel like this is gonna be forced into being like. But I also don't see them being like, hey, we were going to make this an ongoing series. It's not that uncommon for Netflix to do something like that, where it's just like, all right, we'll make like 2 or 3 seasons of it and then we're done.
Right. Until it keeps making money, and then they just keep making. No, I've always said like Netflix could kill kills on a miniseries level, but then they just keep. Like it's like Stranger Things, right? Like the first season was really, really, really good. Second season was good, but not as good as the first. Third season, you're kind of like, I think we might be drying out here, and now we're waiting on this 4th season, and it's like, have we waited too long? Like, is it not going to be the same thing? And I think Netflix really needs to realize that. And I hope they kind of do with this, where they just release this mini series and go, that's it. That's our story. Yeah. It's done.
Yeah. And that's just it too. Like, I once again saw this just kind of like comics, man. Like, there's so many different series in comics. How many volumes have they had of Deadpool, of the Punisher, of Spider-Man? How many books, how many different series? So like. Same kind of idea. There's certain series of He-Man that people do not like talking about, like the New Adventures of He-Man, like if this isn't your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea, right? Like,
right.
Whatever. But, I mean, if anything, I enjoy it for what it is. You don't have to sit and watch it. But, like, let it be. I don't know what else to say about it.
Right.
These are these things that come and go. And, you're always going to have someone nitpicking about stuff. I don't know. Like, whatever, man. Just let it be what it is.
Before we head out into the closure, the one thing I wanted to really throw out there, I don't know why I didn't think about this before watching, but I don't think there would have been anybody better to voice Tila than
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy herself.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this makes complete sense. Like if you watched Buffy, like Buffy and Tila, they have parallels, and I was like, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, man.
Like it's just amazing. It just fits so well.
Yeah. I thought that was great too.
But yeah, we'll close this out with our rating system that you talked up so much at the beginning there. So, Masters of the Universe Revelations, what would you score it?
Oh man, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, my only criticisms of it was the fact that they made the trailer make it like it was something else. Like, I really wish that they would have just been honest in the beginning. Other than that, like, I did feel like they were trying to mislead the old fans into watching this. That they should have just done it the way it was, because old fans are going to get pissed no matter what. Like you said, it's man boys.
Yes.
So taking that out, but looking at just part 1, episodes 1 through 5. Gosh, I got to really think about this. How many rings did it take for Orko to stop Scareglow? No, I was going to be like 3 out of 3 Triclops eyes. So, but, I really think, it was a 4 out of 5 for me. But I'm trying to think, like, what would be I can't think of a fun little 4 out of a 5 out of all of those.
So, like I said, I didn't have really any intention originally to watch this until you showed interest in doing the review, so I had very little expectations. I thought the trailers were phenomenally put together, and I was just like, this looks really, really cool. Like, yeah. I just don't know if I want to invest my time in it. But having, I guess, zero expectation walking in, and not being a guy that was like overly obsessed with He-Man as a kid, I wasn't butthurt at all. I enjoyed it throughout. And I would probably have to give it 7.5 out of 10 very angry man children.
yeah, it's a good one. I was going to say, probably 805, or wait, no, 85. Oh, God, I can't even think of it. Oh, man. 805,000 out of a million Lost Man years of age. Can't even think of the number. I'm so brain dead.
I will give it 5 out of 10 preventable forest fires. But yeah, that'll do it for our review of the first season, first phase, first whatever they want to dub it as, of Masters of the Universe Revelations. I can't wait for the next one. I'm enjoying it, and I definitely will be tuning in for part 2, 100%. And not to mention they were half-hour segments. Like, that's really easy to digest.
Yeah, man, perfect.
But yep. All right. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, that bell for notifications, the thumbs up deal, everything in which you can help us beat our own Skeletor, the YouTube algorithm. And follow us on social media. Things are being posted over there. You can like them, comment, interact, all that things that, usually social media is used for.
We also have a Discord.
Oh, yeah, you've probably seen the graphic a couple of times.
Talk to us on that.
Yeah, you can do it.
Talk about some of the crazy, cool stuff. Just recently was the Gambit shoes that just got released.
Yeah, I wish those soles weren't so big, and I'd buy those. The soles really turned me off. I was like, man.
That's like the new trend now, man. They're like getting bigger and bigger.
So yeah, I'm in no way, shape, or form a guy who collects sneakers, but like the third party sneaker factions are hitting on the nostalgia buttons like super hard. Like we're talking button smashing that shit.
Yeah.
I've seen Turtle shoes. I've seen He-Man shoes.
Even the Hasbro ones, the Nerf, those things sold out.
Nerf, like, those were cool.
So fast. Those sold
were cool.
out. Talking about secondary market prices, man. You think we're bad with collectibles?
No.
Get some sneakerheads on this podcast, man. That's crossover episode.
That's a whole nother neighborhood. That secondary market makes action figure secondary market look like child's play.
Yeah, literally.
But yep, that'll do it. And we'll see you guys all next time. Tune in and stay sharp. I've been Tony.
Have the power.
Have the power. I've been Tony.
I'm John.
And we'll see you guys later.